Is it actually safe to run AI models like Deepseek R1 locally on your computer? Which is a thing you can do. I'll show you how, it's pretty easy. And it's supposed to be safer, but is it actually? How do we know it's not accessing the internet? Am I giving it access to my files? Let's test that out. And we're gonna explore ways how we can make running an AI model locally as safe as possible. Get your coffee ready, let's go. Now, first of all, you don't need to run models like Deepseek R1 locally. Like right now, it's the #1 app on the App Store. It has officially taken ChatGPT's place, which is insane. And you can access it for free right here in your browser. Go ahead, try it right now. No. Don't do it. I'll get into why here in a second and why you need to run stuff like this locally. But first, the reason I'm having to talk about this now is Deepseek kind of upset everyone. You've probably heard about it. It's broken the internet and fundamentally changed how we view AI models. I'm not gonna do a deep dive, but here are the highlights. So here's my section, Deepseek. What the junk is it? First, it's outperforming everything, our best models. Even ChatGPT 01. But so what? New model go fast. That's been the news cycle for a while. Even just this morning, Alibaba said they have a new fast model that beats out Deepseek. We'll see. But that's not the headline here. It's the fact that they did this with less resources. Now, according to Deepseek, grain of salt, they trained this for less than $6 million and they only had 2,000 NVIDIA H800s, which are not the latest and greatest. It's all they could get their hands on because of US export restrictions. Contrast that to OpenAI, they spent over $100 million and had 10,000 plus of the latest and greatest GPUs. And this had everyone freaking out because how did they do this with less resources? How is it that good? They found slack in the rope. My friend Daniel Miessler predicted this a while back. They used clever engineering instead of raw compute power to make the models better. A lot of this involved techniques in post-training, essentially tricks, things like self-distilled reasoning. There's certainly more to it. I'm not going to dive into it here. Watch these videos. They're amazing. They'll tell you all about it. And this challenges the assumption that raw compute power is necessary to have really good AI, serving as a warning to the big guys like OpenAI, hey, you may not be dominant forever. And smaller teams can find clever ways to beat you guys. Overall, it's a really cool thing that happened, and the biggest thing I think they did is they made it open source, which means you can run their models locally. You can't run ChatGPT locally on your hardware. Deepseek, you can. And that's my only recommended way to do that. Why? Oh, by the way, that's the end of my segment of what the junk is Deepseek and why everyone's freaking out. And it's for good reason. But let's talk about safety. Why should you not use Deepseek online or through their app? Well, when you're using it online or through their app, you're using their servers, which means whatever you tell them, your data is going to be stored on their servers. Essentially, they own your data. They can do whatever they want with what you tell them. Now, this is not new. Many of your services that you use right now do this. ChatGPT, Meta, Twitter, or X, they all do it, which is why I do recommend going local and private for as many things as you can, especially local AI models. But with Deepseek, it's a bit different because their servers are in China. Now, why is that a big deal? I've got nothing against China, but their cybersecurity laws are a bit different. It gives authorities broad powers to request access to the data stored within their borders. Your data is subject to Chinese laws. I don't want any government to have my data, and if a government's able to get that data easily, I'm out. So now let's talk about running AI models locally. How do you do that? This has become remarkably easy for anyone to do. And it's one of my favorite things to talk about. You have two amazing options to run AI models locally. First is one I just started using today. It's amazing. It's called LM Studio. This option is for everybody, especially if you don't really like getting in the CLI, you're not comfortable there. It's got a beautiful GUI and you can run pretty much any AI model. I'll get it installed real quick. It's really easy. This won't even be considered a tutorial. It's so quick. You'll just go to lmstudio, I think it's .com. No, it's not. This is some random website. Don't go there. lmstudio.ai. That makes sense. Whatever system you got, they got your flavor. I want to download Windows right now, install it, and click on finish. I'll be right back. I need some more coffee. Go ahead and get you some too. I'll wait. Oh yeah. AI and coffee just go together. By the way, the sponsor of this video is me. Network Chuck Coffee. I do have my own coffee. It's amazing, and similar to running our AI models locally, it is roasted locally as well. Well, local to me. Check it out, networkchuck.coffee. You'll be taken through a wizard to install your first local AI model, probably Llama 3.18b. It may show you a smaller model if your hardware can't handle it. Now, what do I mean by that? That's the one caveat with running local AI models. You have to have some hardware to run it. It's likely the computer you're using now can run something. Even a Raspberry Pi can run a model. But the more hardware you have, the bigger models you can run. Now, the biggest, baddest one right now is the Deepseek R1 671B. That B stands for billion, 671 billion parameters. I have an AI server and I cannot run this. You need some serious hardware to run that. But they do have smaller models. They go down to 7 dB, which I can run on my dual 4090 GPU server. And Deepseek goes all the way down to 1.5 billion parameter models. For most models, you'll want a GPU for better performance. And what I love about LM Studio, oh, actually we can load our model now. Load and say, hey, how are you? Do you like coffee? And what I love about LM Studio is if we go try to find more models by clicking on Discover, and we'll search for Deepseek R1, we'll do 7 dB. This one, if I click on this little icon right here, depending on the quantization, which I'm not gonna cover here, I do talk about it in this video, which is not out yet, but you'll see it here eventually, will tell me if my GPU can handle it. Actually, even here it says partial GPU offload is possible with this, but not full. If I do a smaller model, like the 7B, boom, rocket ship, full GPU offload possible. And this is dependent on how powerful my GPU is, how much VRAM it has. And just like this, I can download it and run Deepseek locally, not on their servers or anyone else's servers. Keeping in mind the models you run locally cannot compete with the models that are in the cloud, unless you have enough resources to run the Deepseek R1 671B. You'd have to have some serious hardware. Now, the other option for running AI models locally is one I love and I use all the time. It's called Ollama. This thing is simple and fast, but it's CLI only. For me, I love that, it's perfect. You can head out to ollama.ai or ollama.com. Click on download, they have it for Mac, Linux, and Windows. Once installed, you'll go to your CLI and type in Ollama. We'll just do -H to make sure it works. It'll tell you how to use it. If you see all this, you're good. Now we can download and run our first model. Why not Deepseek? And here's the one caveat we have with running local AI models. Notice we have some options here. 1.5B all the way up to 671B. These are the sizes of the models. Take this one for example, the 671B. That's 671 billion parameters. Don't even think about trying to run this. You need some serious hardware, and this is the kind of model that would compete with OpenAI. So where do you land? How big of a model can you run? For me, I can live in this world right here with my 4090, my NVIDIA 4090, a 14B to 32B. And 32B is pushing it. For modern laptops, specifically like Macs, you can probably run, depending on the amount of RAM you have, all the way up to 14B. Most people can probably run the 1.5B model. Keeping in mind, it's kind of like the IQ score for a model. The lower you go, the dumber it is. But it's still very fun to run. So we'll click on Deepseek, choose our model size. I'll go 1.5B. It'll give you a little command right over here on the side. We'll copy that. Go back to our terminal, paste that in, and watch the magic happen. So it's downloading your model. It's very small. It's brewing a few things. Take a coffee break while we're waiting. And it's ready. And right now you're running an AI model that is not touching the internet. It's not reaching out to servers and giving away your data. It's all right here on your computer, which is amazing. But hold on, how do we know that? How do we know that at some point this model isn't reaching out to a server and dropping all of our info? Let's test and verify real quick. I'm gonna say buy right there. And I've got a little PowerShell script I wanna run. I'll open up a new terminal window so we can monitor stuff here. And by the way, Ollama does use your GPUs. This script will find the Ollama process IDs and then constantly check what network connections it has. Let's try it out. Running now. Now notice just by default, and this is fine, when you have the Ollama service running, it's gonna be listening on port 11434. Notice the listen part. This is for you to reach out to it. It's not going out to anything else. That's not bad. But let's see if anything else happens when we run Deepseek. Whoa, hold on. Okay, this is all local. That scared me for a second. But yeah, notice no external IP addresses. It's not exiting anything. Let's talk. Hey, how you doing? Let's do it for a while. Tell me a long story about coffee. Okay, so no external connections. And that connection, by the way, right there is just our connection from, I think, our CLI to the API, listening on 11434. So that right there tells us, okay, we're running the model, it's not reaching out. Now we can real quick see if Ollama will ever reach out to the internet, which of course it has to do this when it wants to download a new model. So we'll do the, what's the next one up, the 3B? Oh no, 7B. We'll download the 7B. And yes, notice here we do have an external connection right up here. And now if we run it, we should see no external connections. So good, we know that now Ollama, it does not have any functionality for an LLM that you run locally to access the internet. There's no module or function that can make that happen. So we at least know for now, we're safe. But what if things change? What if somehow a model has something in it, I don't know, that could bypass Ollama's restrictions? Maybe Ollama does release functionality for you to access the internet. Is there a safer option to lock this down? And yes, there is. Right now we're running Ollama straight onto our OS. So whatever it is, Windows, Mac, or Linux. Man, my writing is terrible right now. And in theory, this app running on our OS could access the network, files, system settings, and I don't like that. So what I wanna do is use one of my favorite ways to segment an application, to isolate it, put it into its own little container. And that's with my favorite technology, Docker. If you don't know what Docker is, I got a video right here on it. Or no, it's over here, I never know where to point. We can actually run Ollama inside a Docker container, giving you a lot more control on what Ollama has access to and the models you run on it. Docker itself isolates itself from the other parts of your operating system, and you can still maintain access to your GPU. Let's try it out right now. This is my favorite way to run Ollama. Now, of course, to do this, you'll need Docker installed. You can install it everywhere, Mac, Linux, Windows. In fact, I'll make a video on how to install Docker on all these platforms right here. It may not be out yet, but it will be here eventually. And if it's not there yet, I'll put a link below. Now here in Windows, you will need what's called WSL, or the Windows Subsystem for Linux. It's essentially running Linux on top of Windows. It's incredible. I've got a video on this here and how to set that up, and we'll install Docker on this. Now I know this is getting kind of into the weeds of being pretty technical, but trust me, if you take the time to learn how this works, you'll be addicted. It's very fun, and you'll be a bit safer in the process. So here I'm gonna launch my WSL instance. I've got Ubuntu running. I do recommend that. From here, you'll want to install Docker. Again, refer to my notes below or a video I have right here. And just a couple of notes on running Ollama inside Docker. First, Mac people, you're gonna be left out in the cold on this one. Docker currently does not have access to the M-Series Max GPUs. But if you're rocking NVIDIA, on Linux and Windows, you can install the NVIDIA Container Toolkit right here, or through APT. This will give Docker access to your NVIDIA GPU. All right, here's a quick rundown of our Docker command. We're giving access to all of our GPUs, setting up a volume for Ollama settings, exposing a port 11434 for API access. We're saying, hey, you can't have any more privileges. We're taking away your privileges, only giving you one back for GPU scheduling. Here are your system resource requirements, or we're putting a cap on them, and then making your container file system read only. Pretty dang secure. In fact, I would love to know if there's more security I could add to this. Let me know, comment below. Let's run the sucker. Ready, set, go. Type in Docker PS to make sure it's running. And now looking back at our Ollama Docker page, we can run a model with this right here, this command. We'll run Deepseek. So I'm gonna copy this command, go back down here, change this to Deepseek-R1, and it looks just like running it on the base CLI, or on the OS CLI. But it's running inside of a Docker container, isolated from the rest of our operating system. And done. Now what I want to do real quick is make sure I'm actually using my GPU. So let's see if our performance will spike over here. And there it goes. It's going crazy. Completely local, isolated from the rest of my OS. This is the way I prefer to run my local AI. Now I understand this might be overkill for many people. As you saw earlier, Ollama can run locally, and it doesn't seem to give any kind of internet access or access to anything else. That's the video. I'll catch you guys next time.